Whether it's silver, bronze, or copper, right now there are some awesome books going for good prices. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you know if I'm buying these books at these prices or staying the hell away. But like always, before every video, I want to remind you guys, if you're not a sub of the channel and have been enjoying some of my content, do me a favor, hit that sub button, smash that like button. It really does help the channel. If you're interested in merch, I got you covered. Check out the link in the description of this video. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting off the list is one of my favorite covers of all time. It is a copy of Batman number 227 in this iconic cover by the late great Neil Adams, inspired by the cover of Detective Comics number 31, and a CGC 9.6, a near perfect copy of this book just sold for $8,400, up an insane 46% since 2016. Then we had a CGC 4.0 copy sell for $565, up 13% since 2022. Then we had a CGC 6.5 sell for $679, up 2% over that average. You guys know I absolutely love this cover. One of my best Bronze Age Batman books that you can buy right now. I'm always a buyer of this book no matter what, because it is iconic cover I must own. Coming in at number 9 this weekend, a new book to this list. It is a copy of Infinite Crisis number 5 and the first full appearance of the third Blue Beetle, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for only $250, up a whopping 33% over the average. You guys know everything Blue Beetle is super hot right now. I'm excited to finally go ahead and see this movie. I know it's out in theaters. However, I have been seeing some mixed reviews, so as I said before, I'm staying away from all Blue Beetle books right now until I see how this movie is and what's going to happen going forward. For me, I don't think the character has long-lasting staying power, but who knows? We're going to find out. At the 8th spot this week and back on this list is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 121 and the Death of Gwen Stacy. This is also a classic yellow cover by the great John Romita Sr. and a CGC 9.4 just sold last week for $1,440, up a lowly 2% over the average. Then we had a Slab 6.5 grade sell for $402, up 10% over the average. You guys know I love me some John Romita covers, and I love me some Amazing Spider-Man keys. I am always a buyer of this book. I don't think you need to own it in super high grade. However, the higher the grade, the better the presentation. I'm sticking to 6.0 or higher. I think it's very affordable, and I'm always a buyer of this book. At number 7 is another Amazing Spider-Man key. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 47 and this classic cover by yet again the great John Romita Sr. featuring Kraven the Hunter, and a CGC 8.5, a super high grade copy of this one just sold for $432, up 7% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.0 sale for only $169, up 22% over the average. You guys know I'm a huge Amazing Spider-Man collector. This is one of the first Silver Age books I bought when I got back into collecting, and I definitely think it's still worth it. However, I don't think you need to own a high grade copy of this one. I say if you can find one for on a 3.0 or a 5.0, I'm definitely a buyer. Coming in at number 6 and back on this list as well is a copy of Iron Man number 1. You guys know whenever I go to a show, this is one of the books I'm always looking to buy. Either way, this is the first ongoing title series featuring Iron Man and the origin retold. We just had a CGC 8.0 copy sell for $1,650, up 14% over the average. Then we had a CGC 7.0 sell for $1,100, up 5% over the average. Then we had a CGC 4.5 sell for $565, up another 13% over the average. Damn, some high percentage increases on Iron Man 1. I'm finally happy to see this book going up in price. You guys always know I want to buy it. Just find the grade that you're happy happy with and keep it in the collection. You don't need to spend a ton of money to own this book though. Dropping from the 2 spot down to number 5 this week is a copy of Wolverine number 1 and the first solo appearance of Wolverine in his own title. This is also the first appearance of Yukio and an iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. We had a CGC 9.6 sell last week for $288, up 7% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.4 sale of $245, up a whopping 30% over the average. I'll say it time and time again, this book has been on the list for the better part of the year. I'm a buyer of this book just to have in the collection in lower grades and not spending a ton of money. I see no reason to spend $250 on a copy of this one. However, it is an iconic cover and I think a must-own for the collection. Just get your copy in the collection, but don't spend a ton of money. At the 4 spot this week and back on the list as well is a big key, Batman Adventures number 12 and the first appearance of Harley Quinn in a standard comic book. And we just had a CGC 9.8 sell for $2,800, up 5% over the average. But that is not it. We had a CGC 9.8 newsstand copy sell for a crazy $5,760, up 11% over the average. You guys know I'm only a buyer of this book in a 9.8 and it's finally dropping under $3,000. I'm starting to thinking this one might be a better buy sooner rather than later. However, right now I'm waiting for that Joker 2 movie to come out. We'll see how it fares. If it keeps dropping, I may pick it up. But for right now, I'm staying away. Whoa, at number 3 this week, in a book we haven't had on the list in quite some time, it is a copy of Iron Fist number 14 and the first full appearance of Sabretooth, a mutant who becomes the primary villain of Wolverine. And a CGC 9.0, an affordable copy at a 9.0 just sold last week for $655, up 6% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.0 sale for $495, up 7% over that average. Then we had a CGC 7.5 sell for only $395, up 6% over the average. This is a book I talked about way back when as one of the better Bronze Age keys I want to own. Wolverine is a huge character. People love him. A lot of Wolverine fans out there, and this is his arch nemesis. There are a lot of copies out there of this book. That's why if you want to buy it, I'm sticking to the higher grades. But one of the best Bronze Age covers that I absolutely love with the light blues and the greens and the yellows, definitely a must-own in my opinion, and I'm definitely a buyer at these prices. Falling 1 spot to number 2 this week is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool, the Merc with a Mouth, in a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,570, up 3% over the average. This book has not moved over the past year, right around $1,500 all the way up to $1,900 and now back down to $1,570. I told you guys this, I only want to own this book in a 9.8. There are so many copies out there available for sale. Once it hits $1,500, if you're a long-term collector and a long-term collector only, I'd be jumping in. Until then, I'm staying away. And at the top spot this week, a new number 1. It is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 130 and the first appearance of the Dazzler. This is also the second appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. And a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,400, up 6% over that average. Then we had a CGC 9.4 sale for $350, up a crazy 37% over the average. I know this is a pretty popular X-Men character, but I don't want to spend $1,400, let alone $400 on a high-grade copy of this one. Not too long ago, I got around a 7.0, 7.5 grade in a raw form for around $100. That's what I'd be sticking to. It's not an investment book. It's a cool key. I just don't want to spend the money on this character. That's it for the list this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm finally starting to see some new books on this list. I'm getting very, very excited. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and my excitement has gotten the better of me. I'm going to say the best buy of the week is Iron Fist number 14 and the first appearance of Sabretooth. Now, why am I saying that? We have yet to see Sabretooth show up in the MCU, and it's going to be quite a while before I think we actually see him. Got a long time going to get this book where you need it to go price-wise. A lot of these other books, I think they've peaked for a really long period of time. The ASM 121, the 47, the Batman Adventures 12, the Mutants 98, the Wolverine ones. I think they're at their peak right now. It's going to be a long time before that book goes up. I think this one has some staying power, and I think it has a chance to go a lot higher. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.